It's a Ruckus Arena inside a Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. Tennessee has won 26 consecutive home games. It's the nation's longest active winning streak as they take on the UNC Asheville Bulldogs to begin the 2019-2020 season. Well, 2 stars for each side. Lamonte Turner is the reigning Coast 6 Man of the Year in the SEC. Devon Baker on the other side. He was asked to fill big shoes a year ago as just a freshman, but he was an elite scorer for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. Lamonte comes into the game with 160 career threes made, which leads the SEC. He boasts better than a 2-to-1 turnover ratio, which could go down and is one of the best to ever play for the Vols. You got Baker that steps in with 16.1 points per game. He's looking to come in and have a great start. And we'll see. They're going to clash here in a minute. Battle of the guards. We'll see how the game goes.
There are preseason all-conference selections on each side as we get set for the opening tap. There's Rick Barnes for the Tennessee Volunteers, the reigning Naismith Coach of the Year, his 5th season with the Vols, closing in on career win number 700, 7th highest active win total among any coach in the country. On the other side for UNC Asheville, it's Mike Morrell, the 36-year-old, one of the best recruiters in just his 2nd season. They're picked 9th in the Big South Conference, and he's looking to get this season off to a great start. And you look at these 2 sides, it's the beginning of the season. These 2 sides obviously excited to start the year, but both sides with a lot of unknowns being so young. Definitely.
The Bulldogs coming into the game, they have a newcomer with LeVar Batts. They know that he's going to be a great player for them right now. He's just looking to see how he's going to fit into the game. Tennessee returning 2 of their top 5 last year. They're looking to make sure that those guys get the younger guys off to a good start and out for a good season.
We're underway here in Knoxville as the Bulldogs control the opening tap, and Tennessee will start off in man-to-man defense. And a whistle and a palming violation. There's the starting lineup for UNC Asheville. The big get for Coach Mike Morrell, LeVar Batts. He's an NC State transfer after sitting out last season. He'll be running the show for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely fantastic player, really explosive off the dribble. You're going to see him pressure Lamonte. You're going to see him pick him up at half court the entire night.
Turner off of a screen. Tennessee won its exhibition, putting up over triple digits. Bowden has it slide through his hands. And then a turnover. You mentioned the assist-to-turnover ratio of Turner. Well, Tennessee was one of the best in the country in that area. Jude nearly stumbles, and Asheville will reset the offense. Fans still standing here. 3-point attempt from Jones. And there's the freshman, Josiah Jordan-James. A run out for Pons and a layup. He misses it, but Fulkerson there to clean it up.
Great follow-up there by John Fulkerson, just like in the exhibition game, being right around the rim to clean up any mistakes from the outside.
You have to like the bigs running the floor as well if you're Rick Barnes. So Tennessee strikes first, and now Asheville will set up the offense. Thorpe thought about a triple and then travels with it, so couple possessions for UNC Asheville, a missed 3-pointer and a turnover, and this led to Tennessee's run out.
It's a good job by Pons sprinting out. Fulkerson also sprinting, big man running the court, easy tip in.
What do you think about Asheville running some full court pressure as Batts comes away with it? And a blocking foul be whistled on Turner, so the full court pressure aggravates Tennessee.
Speaking of the pressure, Coach Morrell said there's going to be a few times during the game that he's going to try to change the tempo of the game, and that looks like to be the first one right there.
Well, Asheville scored the 2nd fewest points in a game a season ago. They scored under 60 points. Only Manhattan scored fewer points in the country a year ago. And Asheville's big emphasis is to play faster.
Right now, Coach feels that he has the guys that can play faster. He has a smaller, leaner team, so they're going to push the ball. They're going to stay in it. They're going to change defenses. They're going to do things that try to disrupt Tennessee's rhythm on offense.
Batts played in 30 games for NC State 2 seasons ago as he converts on a pair of foul shots, and we're tied early. Bowden will bring the ball across the timeline. As you take a look at the starting 5 for Tennessee, the freshman, one of the highest-rated recruits in a while for Tennessee, Josiah Jordan-James in the starting lineup in his debut as he turns this ball over.
It was a good look by James driving the baseline. Unfortunately, I got a little hand on it.
Look at Batts with a little razzle-dazzle between the leg dribble and a left-hand layup.
Batts a terrific player, trained by one of my good friends, Junior Harrington, I played with in Denver. He's worked with him since he was a freshman in high school. I followed him for a while. Lamonte's going to have his hands full tonight, but he's going to have to make sure that he keeps the pressure on him, just like Batts is going to keep pressuring him.
Bowden, the turnaround jump shot, misses it. Rebound to Jude. And here comes Asheville looking to push tempo a little bit. You mentioned Batts. He had 5 assists against Duke when Duke was second ranked when NC State upset him on January 6th of 2018.
Absolutely. Coming out of high school, Batts was the #1 ranked point guard in North Carolina. And North Carolina is a basketball playing state, so you know there's a lot of kids there to get after it.
James with a little runner. Pons an offensive rebound and a stick back. Crashing the glass is Yves Pons, the junior from France.
Tennessee has to do a good job of getting those second chance shots and defining their dominance on the inside.
Tied after 2.5 minutes. A little running left-hand layup. Fulkerson there for the glass. Tennessee will look to run as they have numbers. Pons inside. Bowden an easy scoop layup.
Good transition there by Tennessee. Ball never touched the floor. James to Turner. Turner to Bowden. Good job. Good coaching. Good basketball play.
Tennessee 3 for 6 from the floor in the early going. Out rebounding Asheville 5-1. Batts will pull the trigger on a three-pointer and bury it. How about that? 7 points in his Asheville debut.
Batts is going to stay at it all night. He's going to play with a lot of energy. He's going to take a lot of shots. He's going to look to be extremely aggressive. The coach is behind him. He has the 100% green light on offense.
Pons wants a three-pointer at the other end, and he converts. Hit just 7 a year ago, but he buries his first of 2019.
Good-looking shot right there by Pons. Backs up, steps off of him, and he knocks it down.
Pons played with the French national team at the FIBA U20 European Championships in Israel this summer, so some of that foreign game showing in the outset.
Really valuable when you can get some high-level games in the off-season and not have to wait until November to get back in the swing of it.
Three-pointer from Thorpe, and it is raining trays here over the last few possessions as Asheville surges back to the lead.
Tennessee's going to have to be prepared for a dogfight. Over the last 2 to 3 meetings, the game has only been decided by 4 points. So you have to make sure that you're strapping up on defense, making sure that you're ready to play every single possession.
Tennessee 10-0 all-time against Asheville as the lob to Fulkerson is a stuff.
Beautiful play there by Bowden. Heads up, makes eye contact with Fulkerson, and that's the dominance on the inside that they have to start displaying.
Well, that was one of the plays Tennessee worked on during shoot-around earlier today, and it comes to fruition in the first 4 minutes. Jude thought about a three, one dribble. Good stroke from him, but misses it short. And then it's poked out of play. Tennessee is able to surge to the lead thanks to an alley-oop to the senior, John Fulkerson. Tennessee with a 1-point lead at our first break here inside of Thompson Bowling Arena. We welcome you courtside alongside 3-time All-SEC player Vincent Yarbrough, Michael Wattrang. Vincent, this is a Tennessee team that has some big shoes to fill from last year's crew coming off of a program record 31 wins.
Absolutely. A Sweet 16 appearance, #1 for 4 straight weeks. There's going to be huge shoes for this team to fill, but luckily they have some talent in the cupboard to do it.
Well, Tennessee, you look at those losses from a season ago. No school had more NBA draft picks than Tennessee, 3 of them, those first 3. And, of course, Kyle Alexander, who did a little bit of everything for the Vols.
Absolutely. Those 4 guys bring in 70% of the scoring, 70% of the blocks, 65% of the rebounds. Any team losing that is going to be in a rebuilding phase. But right now, Tennessee looks to be in good shape with the 2 returning guys they have.
On the flip side, UNC Asheville very young as we bring in the 3rd member of our crew, Casey Funderburg.
One of the biggest challenges Coach Morrell has faced with his team is just how young they are. He said last season they weren't able to go in-depth with scouting reports or run complex offenses because he had 8 freshmen out there. So last year they chose to focus on the little things. But he said this year he finds himself not having to repeat himself as much, and his team is finally starting to understand what he wants from them.
What a block by Batts right out of the break after Turner had a run out. Batts looking ultra impressive early.
Like I said, top player in North Carolina, went to VC, signed with VCU out of college. Will Wade goes to LSU. He decommits, goes to NC State, plays a year, doesn't really fit into the system. He's a big-time player. He just is comfortable with this system. He's comfortable with the coach. Was recruited him by several schools when Coach Morrell was at Texas. So this is a kid that coach has 100% confidence in. He just wants the other guys to play up to his level.
UNC Asheville had freshmen start 109 games last year. Almost 5,000 minutes came from freshmen. Bowden a turn and pop, and he sticks it. Very good mid-range shooter.
That's what we have to see more out of Jordan. He's going to have to be willing to put the ball on the floor and elevate, use that athletic ability to get over the defenders and for the easy points.
Peck with a basketball on the block. Full hook shot, trickles off. Jalen Johnson into the game for the first time for Tennessee with a board. Turner trying to turn the corner, stopping, popping, rolls it out. Kamwa misses the stick back and bats with a rebound. Well, Tennessee's ahead, shooting 55% from the floor, but Asheville seeing bats create. Jones misses the triple, however. You have to like what you see if you're Mike Morrell here at the early going. No sign of being intimidated by this big atmosphere.
Wait, talking to Coach before the game, he said he wants to come out and test and see where they are. He's not going to back down for 1 minute. He's not going to go zone unless he needs it. He's going to make sure that he stays aggressive, and he's going to speak confidence and teach confidence into his guys all game.
He thought his team played the best basketball in February a year ago. A tough season, just 4 wins all season long for Asheville, but it's pretty safe to say that cupboard was pretty much bare when he walked into that position a year ago.
Absolutely. Had to sign 9 guys, and that's really rare for a Division I program to have to come in and make 9 signees and make sure that they're quality signees and not just giving a scholarship to anybody.
Turnovers. The pass goes over the head of Thorpe. And this season, he had to replace pretty much his entire coaching staff as well. So it's never been easy since he arrived in the Tar Heel State.
Absolutely, but he's kept a positive attitude. He's been able to get some recruits that he's really wanted, and with the addition of bats, he brings in another guy that can carry some of the coaching and scoring load for some of the younger guys. He's a redshirt sophomore, so he's been through a few different programs, a few different coaching styles, so he has some skin on his head towards the basketball game.
Well, Asheville shooting just 33% from the floor, and they've turned it over 4 times, but down by just 3 points. James will break the press, the 6'6" freshman. Pons is fouled as he trickles down the lane. I think it's going to be interesting for Tennessee to see how their rotations start to play out, because there are some newcomers. Obviously, you have the 2 mainstays in Turner and Bowden, but who's going to surround them and become that third option?
Absolutely, and it's going to be the first person that steps up and shows that they're the person, that they're the fit that they need. They know they have a point guard, they know they have a shooting guard. Who's going to be that 3, 4, 5 that steps up and fills that position or takes control of that position?
Extra passing, doesn't net an open look until Baker pulls the trigger on a deep jumper that's too strong. And a whistle and a foul underneath. I think it'll go on Peck of Asheville, and it'll be Tennessee ball, as Asheville has missed 5 consecutive shots and haven't scored in over 3 minutes.
They started out red hot. Now they're going to have to make sure that they're also trying to decide to play inside out and just stop attacking and trying to shoot outside shots.
Well, that's his 2 for 2. The rest of the team is 1 for 8 from the field. Tennessee will bring it up, man-to-man defense. Bats going against Turner. Should be a good matchup all night long. Turner left wing, 13 to shoot. Shot clock getting low here. 5 on the shot clock. Turner waving away the help and pulls for 3. Misses it short. Loose ball, Pons to get it. Not a very good offensive set there by Tennessee, but they get a recycle.
Good job by Pons running the ball down. Good patience by Lamonte taking the shot that he wanted. But you got to make sure that you're attacking the basket, not living with the 3-pointer.
Pons with 3 rebounds already as he pulls the trigger on another jump shot, and a foul will be whistled here. I believe it'll go on James for trying to leap over the back of Stephanie, the local product from Bearden High School.
I'm sure he has some people here that are very proud of him. He did a good job right there at making contact, putting his tail on the guy and keeping him up, keeping him on the ground, not going over his back.
Here's Josiah Jordan James, the freshman, McDonald's All-American, 8th in Tennessee history, first since Tobias Harris back in 2010. Going to be interesting to see his maturation throughout the season. Nice block underneath by Fulkerson. Vols have numbers. James gets it left wing. Pulls the trigger. Halfway down and out. Another offensive board for the Vols. At 5 of them already. That's more rebounds than Asheville has as a team. Amwa underneath. He sticks it in. Good job discarding the defender. Had some size underneath, and Olivier puts it in.
Great power move, kind of a la Grant Williams. Keeps the guy sealed on his back, uses wide frame, wide shoulders, and the guy just can't get around him.
A freshman from Finland into the scoring column. Stephanie stopping, popping, misses it too strong. And a foul will be whistled on the Vols. Tennessee with a 15-10 lead. Asheville struggling 2 of its last 10 from the field. Asheville hasn't scored in nearly 5 minutes as Tennessee has rattled off 6 unanswered points to take a 15-10 lead. Well, UNC Asheville coached by Mike Morrell, and he's no stranger to this area. Grew up about 90 minutes up the road in Elizabethton, Tennessee. High school teammates in football at Elizabethton with former Tennessee Volunteer and current Dallas Cowboy Jason Witten. Played basketball and golf at Milligan. Started his coaching career at King, which is up the road in Bristol. And he comes back here, but he's an ultra-talented coach, a great recruiter in his time. Named the top recruiter in the country under the age of 25 and or 35 in 2015 by ESPN. Coached at VCU, coached at Texas. He can get it done on the recruiting trail. Now gets his opportunity here at Asheville.
Absolutely, and this is one of the reasons that he was able to bring a guy like Bash Jr. in, developed a relationship with him when he was there at VCU recruiting him, also recruited him from Texas, and then he was able finally to get him after he was a little bit unpleasant with his stay at NC State, and then he got him here to UNC Asheville. Looking at Coach Morrell, you know he's a very talented individual, young, you can see he's full of energy, and that bodes well for his recruitment process.
There's Batts missing his first shot of the night, had 7 of the team's first 10. Good defensive effort by Thorpe, swiping it out of play.
I like Tennessee's tempo tonight. They get the ball, and for the last 2 nights, the exhibition game in this name is a carryover. They're rebounding the ball, outlet the ball, 1 dribble, and they get it up the court to a slashing, a running big man.
Yeah, you like the rim runs from Fulkerson and Pons early. Turner to trigger it in, running out of time. Chucks it back to James, the freshman. Gives it back to the senior, who will join the 1,000-point club shortly. Johnson, left wing 3-pointer, cashes it in. They need that from Jalen Johnson.
Absolutely. Johnson is one of those guys that is super talented, has unbelievable athletic ability, and a great jump shot. Tennessee just needs him to be able to put the ball up a few more times and have a little bit more confidence about himself.
Casey Funderburg has more on the junior.
Well, Coach Barnes has really stressed to Jalen that what this team really needs from him is for him to be a great shooter. A lot of Tennessee's offense involves moving guys off the ball, so they want Jalen to keep the floor space and move off screens and be able to shoot the ball well. He has a lot of length and athleticism that he's able to use a lot offensively, especially in transition, and they want him to also carry that over to the defensive side.
Johnson comes from a family of track athletes. Parents D1 track athletes. As you take a look at this setup, a good spot up on the left wing and some space, he's able to knock it down.
Excellent down screen down there by Mr. Fulkerson to free him up for that jump shot.
It's a 9-0 Tennessee run. Asheville hasn't scored since the 16-10 mark as they finally break the seal, but they have missed their last 8 field goal attempts.
Thorpe made a great play to get that just pure energy, pure aggression steal right there. He hunted the ball down. James got his hands back on it, or Jalen got his hands back on it. He still made contact, stole it from him, and then went down and took a hard foul. Got up and knocked the first one down.
Well, despite the fact that Asheville hasn't scored a field goal in 5.5 minutes, they're within striking distance. If they make this foul shot, it's just a 2-possession game.
They are. We'll see what kind of defense they come up with. Well, they missed the free throw. Coach said that they may try to change defenses, so we'll see what happens or when they do change it.
Look at Bowden run the floor. Tennessee is beating Asheville down the floor seemingly every time.
That's a great outlet. You could tell they work on one pass, one outlet, guys spurting up the sideline, post player, rim to rim run. They're doing really good with that.
Tennessee a token full court pressure as Baker, a little stop and start, gets to the rim and gets stuffed. Turner lobs it forward looking for James, but there's Batts to take it right back. Batts to the rim. What an effort with the body control to scoop it up with the right hand.
Great shot by Batts. He knew Pons was going to come across. He knows the strength of Pons, so he had to give a little bit extra to get into his body. Good job there.
I like the tempo of this game as Tennessee leads by 7. Another lob inside, tap pass, and we'll get a block underneath. Stephanie inside the restricted area.
Has to allow the big man a chance to come down here.
I don't know how he got that one up there. Almost entire body was underneath the rim.
He was looking for the pure contact to straighten him up, so he knew that Pons was coming across. The weight of Pons against him going at him. He had to start leaning. It was a good job there. Good body control.
That's with 9, a game high. Jumper from Turner is right down the barrel. Lamonte Turner, 161 career three-pointer, second most among active SEC players. Tennessee is 3 for 6 from deep. They're shooting it at 53% now in the game. They were an elite offensive team a year ago, top 20 in the country in points per game. That's on the mismatch. Little step back jumper. Too strong, and the rebound to James. And then the run out. Fulkerson catches, saves it back to James. The freshman with a little teardrop looked like it slipped out of his hands, and Batts corrals the board. Jude wants a three-pointer, and he buries that. He can connect with the best of 42% a year ago.
This is the one player the coach really likes. He loves his length. He loves his ability to stretch the defense. Says he's a little bit undersized, a little bit under strength, but he makes up for that in what he can do in the offensive end.
6'9", 190 from West Virginia. Turner wants another 3. We'll get a whistle on the attempt. Take a look at Lamonte Turner's last triple. Over the contested 6'9" Jude. Turner is currently 12th on the school's all-time three-pointers list. Needs 4 more to tie C.J. Watson for 11. So they actually called the foul on the screen and not the shot of Turner. So it'll be an inbound for Tennessee on the far sideline. Well, Asheville just 5 of 18 from the floor. What do the Bulldogs need to do offensively to get some shots to fall?
Well, they have to establish their inside presence. Right now, they're a jump shooting team. They're allowing their guards to penetrate and attack the big guys, but they don't have a guy in the game, or maybe they don't have one on their team that has a true back-to-the-basket game. They have to have that in order for that outside guard play to open up. If not, the post players are going to stay there locked in to where the guards are driving and have a good chance of blocking or at least taking a charge.
Asheville 1 assist on 5 made field goals. Tennessee 7 on 10. That's a great ratio for the Vols. Turner stop and start. Good hesitation, and he scoops in the layup. Asheville was talking about that in the shoot around. The Turner will look to hesitate coming off screens. They fell for it, and he's able to make the layup. Look at Jude get to the bucket, but Pons swats it away. Kamwa to the bucket, right hand layup, can't get it to go, but he'll have free throws when we return. Eve Pons is ultra athletic, and he rose to the top for this stuff. Saturday we'll have another full slate of college football right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. We kick the day off at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central with Arkansas hosting Western Kentucky in Fayetteville. Then it's New Mexico State taking on Ole Miss in Oxford. And old rivals cap off the day when Tennessee squares off against Kentucky at 7:30 in our SEC Saturday night matchup. Volunteers lead the Bulldogs 25-16 with 7:55 to go in the first half. And I think the thing that Rick Barnes has to be really satisfied with is 6 different players have scored, and they're really sharing the basketball well.
They are. One of Tennessee's strengths is their ability to move the ball without somebody becoming selfish. They set great screens, they have great action within their offense, and they usually find the person when the defense breaks down to deliver the ball to them. Tennessee
last year was 6th in the country in field goal percentage, 50% as a team. They're at 52 right now as Kamwa hits the second foul shot to extend the lead to double figures for the first time tonight. You like what Bats has done for Asheville, but he needs some help. He has 9 of the team's 16 points. Illegal screen set by Jude, and Tennessee will get the ball back. 5th turnover. Tennessee has turned the ball over 7 times on their side, and they were one of the best in the country at assist-to-turnover ratio a year ago.
That's a good job on defense right there with Tennessee staying connected to the situation. If you stay in there and make sure that everybody's involved, you're really close to what's going on, then sometimes that happens. Even if it's not a contact foul, sometimes a trip can look just like that guy maybe made some contact with you.
1-3-1 look from Asheville now as Kamwa steps out, misses the shot. Rebound, tap back by Devontae Gaines, the freshman with his first points.
The ticket comes in, gets him a bucket. You know, long athlete, young. You can tell that he's got a lot of filling out with his body to do. IQ's there, abilities there. He's going to be a fan favorite for Tennessee for some years to come. 22
double-doubles as a senior in high school. That's not just the impressive part. 4 triple-doubles, and how about 3 quadruple-doubles?
And that all comes at a place that's not your average high school. He comes from Hargrave Military Academy, where he's going against guys that sometimes they're small junior colleges, sometimes they're elite basketball programs around the country. So it's not just your average run-of-the-mill single A, double A, triple A basketball teams that he's doing these things against.
Good post position from Pons, but couldn't collect it as Jude is called for his second personal foul.
Jude is doing a great job. He just doesn't have the physical strength as Pons. So every time Pons makes a contact with his body, he has to regather himself, and that gives Pons an opportunity to establish position. And that's what happened right there. He dislodged him with the bump, tries to get back into position a little bit late and had to do some grabbing, and they picked him up for the foul.
Nearly half of Pons' career field goals are dunks. He is as athletic as it gets.
He is, and he's aggressive. The one thing that you'll see him do consistently is crash the boards offensively and defensively. So anytime you have a guy that's big, strong, and loves to fly around like that, he's going to finish some of them at the rim.
He averaged 12 minutes per game last season. He started 13 games. How critical is that experience entering this year where he's going to be leaned on heavier?
It's huge, especially playing with at the level that they played at last year. You know, #1 in the country for 4 straight weeks. That's almost as a month. So going out there and being the target instead of being the hunter and coming out and having to play under that pressure is going to do well for him.
Luke Lawson misses a triple for Asheville. Rebound collected by Gaines, and here comes Tennessee. Another scoring drought for Asheville, nearly 2.5 minutes. Bowden stopping, popping, and burying. Bowden with 8 points on 4 of 5 shooting.
Beautiful mid-range from Jordan. That elevation that he has is almost second to none in the country. And if he'll do that a few more times, he's going to have a great senior season.
His shoe's loose. He's trying to fix it defensively. You see him on the top of the screen. Nobody's recognizing that. He finally does get it in order and plays great defense. But an offensive rebound stick back by Battle.
Good second chance attempt by Battle right there. Bowden got back onto him after trying to tie his shoe up. It was a little bit discombobulated and wasn't sure if he was supposed to box out or put his shoe on. So good job there by Battle.
Bowden loses the ball, a rare turnover for Jordan Bowden, who had just 35 turnovers in over 1,000 minutes last year. But Pons collects another block at the other end.
Bats does a great job of getting to the basket. I'm just not sure that he's used to seeing that type of length and type of athleticism that Pons and Olivier bring to the table.
Yeah, once he gets to Big South play, as he deflects this one out, you expect that to be a lot easier.
There's Jordan getting into the middle right here and doing exactly what he does best. Defender smaller than him, he's able to elevate up over the top of him and knocks it down.
There he is without the shoe. He was able to get it in time, play help defense, then stay in front of his man. Eventually, Battle was able to stick it back in, but that's a pretty good effort there.
He tried to fix his shoe and couldn't box out.
5 minutes to go in the first half. Tennessee ahead by double figures. James taking it out to Turner. Misses it short. Loose ball. James hits the deck. Battle does so as well and is collected by the team in blue, Asheville.
Good look from James there to kick it back out to Turner. Would have liked to see him take the first shot. I thought he was open. Sometimes as a freshman, not really sure what you should do. If it's okay to shoot the 3-ball, or are you looking to pass it again? So as he settles in and the season progresses, he's going to do well.
Lawson misses his second triple attempt of the game, and then Thorpe carries it out of bounds with him. Well, Josiah James is ultra talented. He can make an impact in a lot of different ways. High expectations for him. What do you see from the freshman here during this season?
Right now, when you see a guy that comes in at high school highly touted with his size at 6'6", the first thing that you want to do is see, is he really a 6'6" point guard? And he's shown to this point, regardless if it's a Division II level or another Division I school, he can handle the ball and he can play that position. So anytime you have a guy with his size, with that ability to handle the ball and deal with the pressure, the other things almost can be taught to him as they come along. So looking for him to have a great year here at Tennessee. He may not start out scoring really well, but as the season progresses, he's going to add and add to his game.
Turner sticks in a little left-handed teardrop. 7 points for Lamonte Turner. Well, James's father played at Michigan State, was a co-captain in the early 80s, so you saw it earlier today in shoot-around. He's very teachable. Traveling violation on Asheville, a turnover number 7 for the Bulldogs, but it's the senior Lamonte Turner joining a very balanced crew with a little up and under. Vols lead by 14. This was a nifty move that got him going early, and he has 9 points doing everything right now for the Bulldogs.
Coming to this game, we knew that he was athletic. We knew that he had the ability to score, but what we didn't know is he had the ability to lead his team. Right now, he's being outclassed and outscored by a true leader of the pack SEC team. When he gets back to Big South, he's going to be just fine. All those rim attacks and all those things that are getting rejected here, they're not going to have such great athletes in his conference, so he's going to do really well.
He's a 4-star recruit and the top-rated player in North Carolina. Played 30 games for NC State back during the 2017-18 campaign. Had some big-time games in ACC play, including a season-high 5 assists in an upset of Duke when the Blue Devils were ranked 2nd in the country, but not getting a whole lot of help elsewhere. The rest of the team is 3 for 19 from the floor, and he's doing his part. He's trying to get his teammates involved. Shots just aren't falling for the Bulldogs.
Coming into the game, Coach Morrell talked about he wanted the guys to start playing up to LeVar's level. He knows what he's going to get out of him. He knows he's an explosive scorer, explosive defender, but he's looking for everybody else to step their game up one level so then they can be true contenders for a title in their Big South.
Asheville, 349th in the country last year in scoring offense. But a very young crew. 4 players had at least 4 freshmen had at least 20 points. Only team in the country. Turner can't stick the triple, and we'll get a clear-out foul on the box out that'll send Pons to the free throw line.
Pons is a difficult person to box out. You have to make sure that, first of all, you make contact with him, and then you have to make sure that contact that you make with him is strong enough to keep him off the glass, and that's just not a small task.
Pons was 6 for 15 at the free throw line a year ago. He needs to improve his shooting. Already has a triple in this one. Misses the first foul shot, and the rebound to Jude, and here comes Asheville. They have had some extended droughts, including nearly a 6-minute drought in the first 10 minutes of this one. Thorpe getting inside the lane, a kick out. Levitch wants a 3. That's too strong. That's his game, just couldn't quite convert from deep. Pons on the block. Has Turner open, finds him. Turner can't stick it in. Ball jostling around before James picks it up, and Tennessee will have to reset. Thorpe the other way. He sticks in a right-hand layup. So that ends a 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Bulldogs.
Second great hustle play there by Thorpe. Got his hands on the ball early, tipped it to his big guy, and then he was able to sprint the floor and get the easy bucket.
Pons was looking for a cutting Fulkerson. It's deflected, and here comes Thorpe. Good job by Fulkerson sticking to the sharpshooter Jude.
Yeah, he saw him wanting to raise up right there, but he saw the length of Fulkerson and didn't think that'd be a good idea.
Jones thought about a triple. Jude, good ball fake. Puts up the three-pointer and misses it. Got to hit those shots.
Great sail on the shot. Wasn't able to get his feet back in rhythm, so he's a little bit off. I watched him shoot. He has a beautiful jump shot from the outside. Talking with Coach Morrell, he's one of the favorites of him for the outside. He's always going to have the green light to shoot it.
Pons underneath, will fall away. Left-hand shot. Good-looking effort there from Eve Pons.
That's due to development here at Tennessee. A year ago, Pons didn't even look to take that type of shot. As you say, more than half of his points have come on dunks. He was looking to be a rim crasher, a rim runner, and right now they're looking to isolate him on the block and use that strength and use that elevation to score easy buckets inside.
Well, you had 4 starters leave this program, so there's a little more of the pie left for these players. Pons will be called for the foul as he fell for the ball fake.
Great move right there by Jude. He can absolutely play, absolutely shoot it. And anytime that you have a guy that can shoot the ball and put it on the floor is difficult.
Coming up later tonight, our opening night college basketball doubleheader rolls on with number 24 Auburn hosting Georgia Southern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. When you look at the stats in this game, Tennessee is plus 19 on the glass. They're shooting 50%. Asheville shooting just 29%. You would think the differential would be larger than just 11.
Tennessee's playing a good game right now, but you can tell they're not hitting on all cylinders. They're still trying. It's still early in the season. They're still trying to figure where some things are going to come from, which lineups they're going to go with. So Coach Barnes is kind of moving guys around, experimenting a little bit. So it's going to be a little while before they gel and finally get that 5, and then the next set of 2 to 3 guys that come in and fill those gaps.
James throws the ball out of bounds. I mean, he hasn't scored yet, but 4 boards, a couple assists. He's still providing something on the floor for Tennessee.
His presence. He's 6'6". He has the ability to play off guard or point guard. So anytime you have that, there's always space for that guy on the court. And he's a willing defender. So he takes up the slack that Lamonte doesn't. He'll take the best shooting guard because he's physically strong enough and quick enough to do that.
Layup from Levitch and a timeout from Rick Barnes, who's pretty heated on that sideline. Speaking with Eve Pons, immediately I don't think that he liked what he was doing at the offensive end, but going into the locker room between these two sides, obviously Asheville wants to make more shots. If you're Rick Barnes, what are you happy with? What are you unhappy with after the first 20 minutes?
I'm unhappy with how we've closed out the half. Being up 12, 14 points, and now they've cut it down to 9. If the last minute doesn't go well, maybe possibly 7, 5. So I would be really disappointed in that. For Coach Morrell, he has a lot to be excited about. Right now, his team was able to come back and cut it 2-9 with his actual best player sitting on the bench, getting a breather. So when they come out, they're going to have a little bit of confidence that they're in the game and they can play with the mighty Tennessee Volunteers.
Full court pressure from Asheville out of the break. 1:06 to go. Tennessee by 9. Turner scored 7 points, but has needed 9 shots to get there. He gets all the way to the rim and is fouled by Stephanie and led to the free throw line. Tennessee just 1 for 3 there.
Right now, you'd like to see Lamonte take over the game for the last minute.
Turner shot 78% from the line. A year ago, needs just now 42 points to be the 51st member of the 1,000-point club. Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central, the SEC Nation traveling pregame show will be in Tuscaloosa for number 1 LSU and number 2 Alabama. With Marty, Marcus, Paul, and Tim as they break down everything from the gridiron to the grill for Week 11 of the college football season. SEC Nation presented by Regions Bank right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Turner misses a pair of foul shots. And with 40 seconds to go, Jude wants a triple. I think they're going to count the foul, and count the bucket, and there will be a foul on Tennessee for running over the screener.
It was great execution there by Thorpe to run a down screen for their absolute best shooter, and he just does what he does best, coming out, get his feet set, and knocks it down.
So Kamwa was the one that barreled over Thorpe. But you see Jude, I mean, he can stick it with the best of them. Shot over 40% from three-point range a year ago. Averaged nearly 10 points starting every game for UNC Asheville. And they're going to look at this one to see if there's anything egregious on Tennessee. But you just mentioned it. Tennessee not closing the half all that strong. I mean, they had a chance to push this one out to 20 points. They were up by 14 at one point. They failed to do so, and you got to credit Mike Morrell's crew.
Absolutely, but that'll be the one sticking point that Coach Barnes stays with in the locker room. Guys, we are not good enough to play in waves. We have to make sure that we step on guys when we have them down, and we can't allow them to fight back and gain that confidence and think they can continue to compete.
It's an 8-0 run for UNC Asheville over just 62 seconds. Take another look at this one. There's Jude. There's the foul. And I think that they're going to take that bucket off of the board. And that's a tough break for UNC Asheville. Mike Morrell wants an explanation. It's tough to see if the ball was fully out of the hand of Jude at that point. But that's a tough pill to swallow for Mike Morrell.
I'm not sure if it should have been taken away, because the foul wasn't a foul. It was a common foul against somebody that wasn't involved in the action of shooting.
So they take 3 points off the board, and Tennessee still leads by 9. So rather than a potential 2-for-1 chance, Asheville will play for the penultimate shot of the half. 4 on the shot clock. Stephanie, a three-pointer, steps into it and buries it. The Knoxville product gets the 3 points back.
Big time shot there by Stephanie. He's played second, third fiddle for a long time and finally get his chance to shine. Drew Pember's on his team. He had another kid sign to go to Florida. So right now he's just stepping up and
Kamwa sticks in the dunk as the horn expires. And Tennessee leads by 8 at the break. And you mentioned Stephanie stepping in with a big shot. That's critical for Tennessee to get that. Otherwise, would have been just a 6-point game at the break. Casey Funderburg has Rick Barnes.
Coach Barnes, your team had 12 turnovers in the first half. What do you all need to do offensively?
Well, we need our 3 guards that are turning it over to stop turning it over. I mean, it's ridiculous when you got seniors that are turning it over, and Josiah's got to calm down and just run our offense, and it's pretty simple if he'll do that.
What have you liked out of Josiah so far this first half? Because he has seemed more confident tonight than he was the other night.
Well, I think he should be, but again, he's got to stop. He's got to run the offense. He's out there. He's not connected with the other guys right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Turner and Bowden have 7 turnovers, but the Vols are shooting 49% from the field in the first half. Looking to extend the nation's longest home winning streak to 27. It's Tennessee by 8 at the break. It's an 8-point Tennessee lead at the break, looking to improve to 11-0 all-time against UNC Asheville. Back courtside with Vincent Yarborough, Michael Wattrang, and Vincent, first half that we thought the point guards would play really well. Well, they did, but turnovers for Tennessee part of the problem.
Absolutely. Tennessee has tried to push the push the pressure, so they're going to naturally have a few more turnovers. Asheville, what they've tried to do is they've tried to let their point guard dictate the pace, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that against the length and size of Tennessee.
Well, LeVar Batch Jr. started things out right out of the gates for UNC Asheville. He's got steals, he's got buckets, he's got assists. He's done a little bit of everything for the Bulldogs.
Yes, coming into the game, we know that he was an explosive athlete. He's going to take a lot of shots because the coach has a lot of confidence in him. He's going to try to lead his team. The thing that we didn't know was he going to be able to get his team over the hump? And up until this point, he stayed and made the game competitive for his team.
Lamonte Turner is the team's leading returning scorer, and he's filled it up in a variety of ways for the Vols.
Yes, he has. Lamonte is a true senior guard. He's out there with a lot of leadership, a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, and he's making it happen for his team. He's right now he's asked to facilitate first and score second, but late in the first half, he's able to step up and knock a few shots down.
Bats has been efficient with 4 steals as well. Standing by with the head coach of UNC Asheville, Mike Morrell, Casey Funderburg.
Coach Morrell, you've held Tennessee to 36 points, forced 12 turnovers. What have you liked out of them defensively?
Just trying to be aggressive. You know, that's our goal. That was our goal before the half. Just trying to stay the aggressors on the the defensive end. We've been able to get our hands on balls, you know, and we just need to convert some of those for our own points right now. But I've been proud of our guys and how they've, you know, produced on the defensive end so far with our pressure.
LeVar Batts leads your team with 9 points. What have you liked out of him so far?
Just aggression. Again, that's our goal every day, to try to be the more aggressive team. And so we didn't do that the whole time in the first half, but we had some minutes, good spots where we were.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, one of the big stories for UNC Asheville this year is yet. That's the big word. They're not quite there yet, but they hope that they can get there. And after 20 minutes, they're in a position to end one of the nation's longest winning streaks at home. They're down by just 8 here at the break. If you are Tennessee, how do you get out and win this first 5 minutes to try to get that separation back into double figures?
You have to come back and establish your size on the inside. If you start running up and down the court and playing Asheville's game, then Asheville's better at that game naturally because they're sized for that. Tennessee has to come in, pound the ball inside, take advantage of those 6'8", 6'9" guys they have with some size, and then let that open up the outside for them.
Tennessee had 22 points in the paint in the first half. They're out-rebounding Asheville by 18, 30-12. They have 11 offensive rebounds, so they're getting it done in a lot of different ways. But the 12 turnovers have been an issue. Asheville has turned that into 11 points. So we'll start the second half. Vols led by as many as 14 in the first half and looking to ignite the offense again as they have the starting 5 on the court against the all-blue-clad Asheville Bulldogs. Bowden gets a touch inside promptly, just like you asked for, to Fulkerson, but he misses the shot. Good defense by Jude.
Tennessee has to establish that inside presence, so we'll take that, and they'll keep going.
Look at the right-to-left switch in midair by Thorpe. Had 9 points per game a year ago, and he sticks that one in to cut the deficit to just 6.
Good job. Thorpe has been a mismatch all night. He's able to put the ball on the floor. He moves more like a guard than a big man, and that's going to be difficult to stop.
Good give and go. Fulkerson dumps it inside for Pons, who dunks it.
Great play there by Tennessee. Lamonte was able to get into the pick and roll, which drew the big guy out for the double team, separated him, and it was just too many orange guys, not enough blue on the end of the basket.
Batts is called for the carry. As you take a look here, 2-on-1, good decision by Fulkerson. Tennessee has played 8 different players. Nobody in double figures yet. 7 of the 8 have scored. Josiah James, the highly touted freshman, the only one yet to pierce the scoring column. He has the ball now at the top of the key. Turner trying to stick in a three-pointer, misses it, but an offensive rebound. Fulkerson. Bowden. Batts gets on the deck. He'll get credit for his 5th steal, and a jump ball will favor Asheville.
Good job there by Batts being the first person to the floor. Saw a loose ball, got on it, recovered the ball for his team.
Well, we talked about at the outset the 2 senior returners, the 2 players that Tennessee would really rely upon, preseason all-conference picks in Turner and Bowden. Those 2 have combined for 8 of the team's 13 turnovers.
And that's the one thing that Coach Barnes is upset with. The seniors turn it over. Okay, if JJJ turns it over, he's a freshman. He's supposed to. But right now you got Bowden and Turner making the most turnovers, and that's what's leading to UNC Asheville getting back into the game.
Asheville down by 8. Jude has stuck a lot of triples, almost stepped out of bounds. And now he turns it over. Turner comes away with his first steal. Lobs it forward. Bowden leaps and sticks it in with the right hand.
Great connection right there from the 2 senior guards. Lamonte made eye contact with him about half court, able to find him for the easy deuce.
Batts the other way, can't convert the layup, and James with a rebound. 10 points for Bowden, a game high. Bowden has it on the right wing. Tennessee ahead by 10, looking to add to it. James stopping, popping, and sticking it in. That jump shot is developing, but it can be silky when it's on.
Yeah, it looks good. Really great size going to the basket right there. Shot the ball over a 6'9" guy, so you know point guards really don't have a chance. So I need to see a few more shots out of him as the game goes on.
That's what Rick Barnes said. His scoring mentality needs to juice up a little bit. He's a great overall player, but that scoring mentality, that's something they're going to need. Baker, who's been awfully quiet, hasn't scored tonight. As you take a look at this little sequence, good defense by Fulkerson to get a hand on it, and then Turner spying things ahead and leading it for Bowden. Yeah, but we highlighted Baker at the outset. He has the ball here. He is 0 for 4 from the field, the team's leading scorer from a year ago at 16 points a game.
Right, as you see right here, one of the things that Tennessee wanted to do was take their leading scorer out of the game, and thus far they've done that. Right now, they just have to make sure that they're staying attached to where Batts is at, and then they'll have the game in hand.
Good defense by Kamwa underneath. Gets the ball back for Tennessee. Look at this defense here.
Great protection of the basket, straight up and down. Again, UNC Asheville is just not used to that length and that size at the rim.
And a foul will be whistled here on Batts. It'll be his second as he was bumping into Fulkerson, who is trotting down the floor. Yeah, that's definitely a foul. A little shoulder shimmy into Fulkerson. And then Batts is called for his third. Well, this is what Mike Morrell can absolutely not have. And this is part of that youth. You pick up one 70 feet away from the bucket, you can't pick up a second one 5 seconds later.
And he has to make sure he knows where the referees are at. Normally it's a little bit of contact, tries to hold, but right now he just picked up one, he locks them up. They're going to blow that every time.
So Batts picks up 2 and has to go to the bench. So that should change some things for Asheville. Let's see if Tennessee can go on a run. And Turner quickly sticks in the layup.
It's just too easy for Lamonte right there. Got too deep and allowed him to get too deep and just used his size and strength to elevate over the top of him.
So now they need Baker to really step up, and he draws a foul on Kamwa.
Baker's looking to be a little bit more aggressive right now. I think he's feeling the pressure of not having a bucket yet, so he's going to start heating up a little bit, or at least start being a little more aggressive, looking for his own shot.
Well, Tennessee has answered with an 8-0 run in less than 3 minutes, as the Bulldogs have not scored in 3:04. Asheville needs an answer in the worst of ways right now. Foul will be whistled on James, trying to defend against Jude. Nobody on Tennessee in any foul trouble. James and Kamwa each with 2.
Right now, Tennessee has a team in that they're able to switch everything. So they're coming off screens are being negated because they just can switch without losing any height or any size.
Thorpe dribbles past his defender, kicks it to Baker, who misses a 15-foot jump shot. His rough night continues. 0 for 5. Turner quickly the other way, stepping back for a jump shot that rattles out. Baker is fouled by Josiah James. James picks up his 3rd. That'll bring us to a stop and play. Tennessee on an 8-0 run, swelling the margin to a game high, 14.
Welcome back to Thompson Bowling Arena, where Tennessee leads UNC Asheville 44-30. Now, one thing we've talked about in this game is how young this UNC Asheville team is, but they have a very young coaching staff too, and Coach Morrell likes to use that young, energetic personality that he has with his team. So this morning, during shoot-around, he wanted his guys to be loud when they were on the floor. So the way that he got that message across was he sent his director of ops to section 331A in the arena, had him sit there, and then had the guys be loud on the floor to make sure that their director of ops could hear them while they were practicing. And of course, the team responded well and started chanting Jack as he ran up the stairs.
Coach also joked about how the fact that growing up in his Elizabethan, he can only afford to sit up in those seats. So he sat up there. Some of his fondest memories of falling in love with basketball was watching Allen Houston play inside of this arena. And now he gets to coach here, and his team has played pretty well, but in a scoring drought of nearly 4 minutes, having allowed 8 unanswered points. Baker is fouled going to the rim. Well, Baker was the 9th leading scorer in the nation among freshmen a year ago, but he is really trying to get going now. He's 0 for 5 from the floor, and maybe free throws will get him going.
Tennessee's a rock-solid defensive team, and their strength in defense lies in the number of guards and the different appearances that the guards have and attributes that they have. They have Turner, who's quick and explosive. They have Bowden, who's long and explosive. They have Jordan, who can do multiple things because of his size, because of his strength, and everyone has seen a chance to guard Baker tonight, and that's how they keep him off of the scoring mark.
Well, you're 6'7", you're a 3-time all-conference selection. What aggravated you the most from a defender?
The defenders that were smaller than me, that could get up into my legs and didn't allow me any space to put the ball on the floor. Those are always the pesky defenders, the ones that pick you up, stay into your chest. Patrick Beverly's of the world, things like that. So that makes the game difficult for longer players. It's being at them, being at their legs.
Pons on the block. A blocking foul whistled on Jude.
Difficult matchup for Jude. He's probably giving him about 10, 15 pounds and probably 30, 45 pounds in strength on the bench press. So any bump by Pons is going to throw him off his mark, knock him off. So they have to do a better job of maybe sending a double team instead of allowing him to be there one-on-one.
Pons has been ultra aggressive in this game, 4 for 6 from the field, 9 points. Foul whistle away from the ball, and another inbound on the opposite side of the baseline. Bowden air balls it, but Pons on the stick back. He's got 5 boards and into double figures now. It's a career high 11 for Yves Pons, the junior from France.
As he continues to develop, the more basketball he gets to play, you're going to see more career highs. You're going to see more development in his game. He's going to be able to knock that jump shot down like he did in the first half, as well as put it on the ground and make a post move.
Jalen Johnson bottoms from deep. Couple three-pointers for Johnson. And Tennessee is outscoring Asheville as Turner with a pilfer in the layup. And Mike Morrell needs a timeout. Tennessee outscoring Asheville 9-1 since Batts went to the bench with his 3rd personal foul. It's a 13-1 Tennessee run to swell the margin to a game high 20 points. Pons starting it off with a stick back, and Turner creating. Asheville scored the first bucket of the second half. That cut the deficit to 6. Since that point, Tennessee has rattled off 15 of the last 16 points. And Yves Pons has a lot to do with that. His energy was always there a year ago for a team that went to the Sweet 16, but tonight, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 of 7 from the field, and 3 blocks. He's doing everything for the ball.
Absolutely. Just a physical specimen. Anytime he's going all out, he's going to be a show. The other guy that has stepped up in this second half has been the senior guard, Lamonte Turner, giving him rock-solid performance from the outside, locking up the point guard on the other team. Just a complete standout player tonight.
Batts is back on the floor with 3 personal fouls. His team was outscored 9-1 in about 2 minutes of play after he picked up his 3rd personal foul. That just does get the ball in, but it's a turnover, and now Tennessee's defense starting to swarm. And Bowden really created that by sticking with Stepney. Also interesting that Batts wasn't really around the ball. He was always at halftime, or at midcourt.
I think Coach Morrell took him off the point guard.
The fans thought that they were just about ready to have their moment, but illegal screen set. There's Turner. Just a little bit of a discard with that right hand. Otherwise, this place would have went nuts. Instead, it's Turner's 5th turnover of the night.
Well, sometimes turnovers are misleading. He has had a few errant plays today, but when you have the ball in your hand 90% of the time, you're going to get some turnovers. So if they can limit it and keep it at his 5 to 7, 8, 9, 14, then they'll be fine.
Bowden leaks it ahead for Fulkerson, and he's stripped by Batts, who picks up another steal. His 6th. Batts to the left block, puts in a left-hand layup. He has really dazzled the crowd tonight and put an end to a 5.5-minute field goalless drought. Turner misses the layup, but does draw the foul, and that's one of the differences now for Asheville. You see Batts with a steal. Great hands, and then the body control. Doing a little bit of everything tonight. 5 steals, a couple boards, efficient from the field. And for more on LeVar Batts Jr., let's send it to Casey Funderburg.
Coach Morrell was really excited for LeVar Batts to be able to play on this team this season and to help this team because he has a lot of experience in high major games from his time at NC State. He said he has great speed and really focuses on the little things and has been a vocal leader for them at the point position. He's also going to be able to take a lot of pressure off of Devon Baker as well this season, who led the team in scoring last year.
Asheville was extremely young, so they are looking for that leadership slot, and Batts has seized the day in his debut in blue. He's got the ball now, number 0 in all blue for the Bulldogs. Stephanie stopping and popping, that's too strong. Ball ricochets around, and it'll be picked up at mid-floor. How did that go in from Thorpe against 3 Tennessee defenders? Ball's looking to run. Bowden the other way, up and under. Misses it. Pons a tap, and a foul will be whistled. Underneath. I think that's what Rick Barnes might want to see a little bit more of. If a team makes a shot, let's run the other way. Because Tennessee right there was able to get a really good look, and they were crashing the glass.
That's one thing that they've added to their game is that quick attack offense. They get it out. The point guard sees that he has a head up the court, one pass up the sideline, one dribble, and then at the rim.
Pons back to the free throw line as he buries this one. Coming up later tonight, our opening night college basketball doubleheader rolls on with number 24 Auburn hosting Georgia Southern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Well, Pons has really been a glimmer of light for Rick Barnes as he makes a pair of foul shots. Was just 6 for 15 at the line a year ago, but makes a pair there. Much improved player, much more aggressive as well here tonight as he leads the team in scoring with 13 points. Baker off of the screen. A little teardrop, left it short. And a foul will be whistled underneath. Well, for those just tuning in, they see Tennessee's ahead by 19. They know that they lost a lot from last season. How do you explain what Tennessee looks like right now and what people should expect in the future?
Well, for sure, Tennessee's a different team than the 3 that they lost last year. But right now, they're a much more athletic team. They get up and down the court a lot faster. They're a lot less dependent upon 1 to 2 people to make sure that their offense clicks. You have right now, you have 3 to 4 or 5 guys that step up and can score and can take the ball at any point in time, and that's going to go well for them in the SEC.
They're really sharing the ball well as Kamwa catches the air ball. 13 assists on 23 made field goals. The freshman Gaines stopping and popping. He misses that shot.
The one thing you can like about Gaines' game is that he gets to his spot. You're really going to see him take an errant shot or a shot that's not in the spot that you know that he can actually make it from.
Tennessee is shooting 58% from the field here in the second half. And you mentioned Gaines. He's a freshman. Last year, Tennessee didn't have a freshman score a point the whole season. Hadn't happened since the 72-73 season, but they're going to be a little more reliant on the rookies this year.
Definitely. They have a lot different talent level in their rookies this year. So they have Triple J, who's going to be able to score the ball at will when he wants to. Once he gets that offensive mentality, you have Goins, who's a really long 6'7" kid with a 7'2" wingspan, going to be able to disrupt and make some great things happen. So you're going to see a lot of good things out of those young guys this year.
Lawson misses the jumper, and another second chance opportunity. Stephanie wants another jumper. That's too strong. Another offensive rebound. 3 opportunities for Asheville, and they convert. But running the other way, it's Gaze who's stuffed by Lawson. Pons gets it back and sticks it in. 15 for Pons.
Big time for Pons. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time tonight. Every missed shot, every opportunity to put it back, second chance points, Pons is there. And with his scoring and leaping ability, is almost unstoppable.
How much do you think playing for the French national team at the U20 European Championships helped him?
A lot, but the thing that I see more than anything out of Pons is he has a center of gravity down this year. Last year, he seemed to sometimes be playing too up top and kind of top heavy because he didn't work, his base wasn't as strong. But right now, he seems to be getting low, using his hips, and looks great out there.
Tennessee running the floor again, but cannot convert once more. They're beating Asheville down the floor, just can't make shots. Baker, Lawson shooting over Fulkerson, missed it short, and it goes over the top of the backboard. And a frenetic few minutes comes to a stop with Tennessee on top by 17 behind Yves Pons's team leading 15 points. Tennessee leads Asheville by 17. They've had to grind it out the last several meetings, but ahead by double figures here in the second half. Around the rest of the SEC, Florida, 6th-ranked team in the country, ahead by 15. You have that nightcap game. Number 1 versus number 2, Kentucky involved in that game. Around the rest of the country, ACC season has begun. Louisville runs past Miami by 13. Kansas and Duke in that other top 4 matchup. And it's the Jayhawks by 13. That'll be Tennessee's opponent in the Big 12 SEC showdown coming in January. And Tennessee leading by 17 here inside of this facility, shooting 49% as a team so far. 1-3-1 look for Asheville. How do you think Tennessee has handled this 1-3-1 look that's been sprinkled in?
Well, the thing about Tennessee is they're patient. So if you're not in a defense that's going to be aggressive against Tennessee, they're going to sit back and get exactly what they want. They're too well coached to expect them to take an errant shot 3-4 times in a row, which out of the zone, you're hoping that that's what happens.
Well, Tennessee got an easy look. Fulkerson, easy layup. Thorpe is able to cash one in at the other end. He's put together a nice night. A team high 14 on 6 of 9 shooting.
Thorpe has shown that he can play at this level. He's shown that he has an offensive game and a defensive game. He guards the 1 through the 4. And he's able to make moves against the 1 through the 4.
Gaines for 3, cashes it in.
The ticket. You're gonna see a lot of Mr. Goins. He's long, athletic, and he wants to be great. So as long as he continues his same work ethic, you're going to see big things out of Goins. 5
points for the freshman from Buffalo. Incidentally, Tennessee's 26-game home winning streak is tied with Buffalo for the nation's lead for longest active home winning streaks. Thorpe, nice little crossover, right-handed runner off the glass and in. Thorpe had just 6 double-digit scoring games a year ago as a freshman. He's got 14 tonight. Fulkerson underneath, stops it from Gaines.
Good assist from Goins right there. Gaines going in, finds Fulkerson out of the corner of his eye, left-hand whip pass, easy finish for the big dog Fulkerson.
38 points in the paint for Tennessee. Tennessee has worn down this Asheville team, leading by 20 thanks to a 15-1 run here at the early portions of this second half. Baker, his tough night continues. 0 of 8 from the field, just 1 point. The team's leading scorer at 16 a game and a preseason All-Big South pick.
The difference is having 6'6", 6'7" in your face. That's what Tennessee has been able to do all night. And in the Big South Conference at the shooting guard, that's just not a normal height for a shooting guard.
Turner buries a triple. 15 for Lamonte Turner. Well, Tennessee has really turned it on in the second half. They are 4 for 5 from long range, shooting 60%. So they really rung the bell after Asheville cut the deficit to 6.
What happened was V's came out and established them on the inside. Fulkerson came out, established them on the inside. And like I said, anytime you do that, they're going to open up everything.
Gaines stuffs it home. He'll get called for a technical foul for slapping the backboard after he lifted himself back up. And he's going to get replaced promptly after that.
Good to see the freshman get out and get his first dunk in front of the Vols' hometown. A little bit too excited, so he goes up and a little extra activity, smacks the glass.
I think that's one of those where the emotions, playing inside this facility for the first time in your career, you get taken out of the game right after that. I'm sure that's one as a coach where you're a little unhappy about it, but fine that it happens in a 25-point game that you can take him out and you don't lose anything.
But you have to have a teaching moment for the young guy, and that's what Coach Barnes did right there. As you saw, there was nothing but love going over there to the bench. Every coach shook his hand, let him know they understand where he's at in his development. And anytime that you get an exciting play like that, you may act a little bit out. So up 25, you can deal with it right now, but let's not do it again. I'm sure that was the message from Coach Barnes.
Yeah, that's his one pass, as it were. You can do it today, and we'll sit you on the bench. Do it anymore, we might run you in practice. That's has been quiet here in the second half. Pons is on him now. Baker against the much taller Kumwa turns the basketball over. This his first turnover of the night, but Tennessee is in control, leading by 23 points thanks to 62% shooting in the second half. Saturday we'll have another full slate of college football right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. We kick the day off at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central with Arkansas hosting Western Kentucky in Fayetteville. Then it's New Mexico State taking on Ole Miss in Oxford. And old rivals cap off the day when Tennessee squares off against Kentucky at 7:30 in our SEC Saturday night matchup. Inside of Thompson Bowling Arena, it's the Volunteers ahead by 23 points. And it's a schedule this season that is going to be ultra challenging for the Volunteers. You look at how things are going to play out this year. At the end of the month, they'll get a top 25 team in either Purdue or VCU. You get Memphis, Wisconsin, not pictured in there. A trip to Cincinnati, who's been a tournament team the last several years. And, of course, you play in this league, you got to play against top 5 teams.
Absolutely, and Tennessee has built a well-balanced non-conference schedule that's going to go and have those guys prepared for the rigors of the SEC. Going against guys that are cupcake teams to get a win on your record is not going to further their play. And Coach Barnes is a good enough coach to understand that, and that's why he's gone out and found those games.
They've had a very good strength of schedule the last couple years. Going out and playing those big dogs around the rest of the country. And of course, you got to go to Fog Allen Fieldhouse right in the middle of your conference season. That doesn't make things any easier. And I think this will be an interesting year to see where this Tennessee team ends up and what kind of big-time wins that they can shake off as Thorpe sticks in his 12th point of the second half.
Thorpe has really shown his whole offensive game. He's been able to score on larger opponents. He's been able to score on smaller opponents, put the ball on the floor. Really good game for him.
Johnson misses a triple, but Kamwa will reset the shot clock. Turner's been on the floor for pretty much the whole night, 30 minutes played out of the first 33 plus.
I believe that for Tennessee to be as successful as they can be, he's going to have to be the top earner. He makes such great decisions with the ball in his hands. He's the vocal team leader. Everybody looks for him to lead. So as he stays and as he goes, so will the team.
LeVar Batts Jr. just fouled out. Played just 6 minutes in the second half, and after just a dynamic start, I think Tennessee kind of took it under their wing, a little confidence at halftime, saying we got to shut that guy down, because if we don't, it's going to be a long second half.
Absolutely. Came back out. Him and Lamonte had a little bit of a John session. He picked up a foul against Fulkerson, the second foul against Holden Lamonte, and then after that, kind of the wind was out of his sails and never kind of regained what he was doing in the first half. Credit to Tennessee getting inside of his head and not letting him perform the way that the coach knows and everyone else knows he can perform.
Well, despite the fact that this is his third year in college and he played at NC State, had to sit out last season, and Tennessee was able to affect him in the second half. And by doing so, you see the lead swell to 23 points. Jude will step out for a three-pointer, missed it badly. Tennessee has dominated the glass, plus 20 on the iron. Turner to set up the offense. 6 assists, 15 points for him tonight. Looking for number 7. Johnson can't convert the three-pointer. Has had some good looks. Jude in transition, misses that one badly. So after looked like he was getting hot, 2 really bad misses from Cody Jude.
Good job. And Tennessee now is, before he was shooting open shots. Right now, every shot that they're shooting, Tennessee is contesting or at least closing out at the shot. So Coach Barnes went in at halftime, made an adjustment, let everybody know they were a little bit too lax against a good opponent, and they came back out and they stepped it up.
Asheville shooting 33% on the night. Kamwa underneath, good pass from Bowden. It's just a lot of really good cuts, a lot of good curls to be able to find open real estate and force a double team and get a good look underneath.
Absolutely. That screen from Kamwa, great solid screen, and anybody knows the better screen you set, you're going to be open when that guy goes off. So he set a great screen and was able to receive the reward.
Jude wide open this time, and you see what he can do when he has some real estate to work with. Jude 9 points in the game, his second triple.
The one thing that I respect about Asheville is that they haven't given up, they haven't given in no matter what the score is. Because coming into this game, they understand maybe the win isn't there, but they have to see how they stack up against the big dogs, the Power 5 schools.
Stepney with a rip. Thorpe the other way will draw the foul and get to the free throw line. You mentioned that fact about Asheville. Obviously, last season really tough. 4 wins all year, 2 wins in conference play. You would think the outset is going to be better this year for this team. What have you seen from them tonight as they get ready for the rest of their year?
I've seen the no-quit attitude. I've seen their coach continuously coach them to become better, and they've responded to it. You know, if the coach is yelling things and you don't see the guys responding, or at least attentively looking and trying to do what he says, then you know there's a disconnect somewhere. But right now, the coach has a great relationship, great rapport. Even though they're down 30-20 right now, he's still laughing with his guys, letting them know, hey, we knew this was going to be a tough road, but now we're coming back. We've got some experience, and let's go back and take over our conference.
Alley-oop, Bowden to Fulkerson for the stuff. That's what Tennessee's done in the second half. As soon as that ball either goes through the net or off of the rim, they're looking to run, and it's a lot of times been the post players in Fulkerson.
Absolutely. You have no time to stay back, celebrate, relax, think that it's over or you did a great job, because they're pushing it down your throat.
See if Tennessee looks to run here. Instead, they'll slow things down, and Turner will set up the offense. Ball shooting 58% in the second half, 53% for the game. And it's been a nice season opener for Tennessee. Turner accelerates to the rim and sticks it in. 17 for the senior from Florence, Alabama.
Love the concentration and the pace that Lamonte is playing at right now. He hasn't forced a shot. He's been a great team leader, shown him the way to do it. He's been great on defense all night. So anytime your point guard, your senior leader plays that well, you're going to have a great outing.
10 on the shot clock. Thorpe accelerates, sticks it in, and draws the foul to bring us to a break. Tennessee's made its last 3 shots, and when they come this easy for Fulkerson, balls are rolling in Knoxville. Tennessee on the verge of winning its 27th consecutive home game, and it's been largely due to Yves Pons stepping up. 77 points all of last year. Well, he's got 15 to lead the way for the Vols.
Absolutely. all last year you can see the special things that Pons was going to be able to do with a year or two of development. And right now, some of those things are being really apparent. He's able to knock down jump shots. He's able to make true post moves, and his energy is just contagious. Every time he leaves the floor, it's up for a highlight block or a highlight dunk, and those are the things that Tennessee fans are becoming accustomed to.
The game's leading scorer is L.J. Thorpe. He has 15 of his game-high 21 here in the second half on 7 of 9 shooting, but Tennessee's balance. 4 different players with double figures. 3 others have at least 7. That bodes well for Rick Barnes' crew this season, trying to replace 3 NBA draft picks from a year ago.
Absolutely. There's, like you said, there's not going to be any player that he has currently on his roster that's going to replace Grant Williams, replace Admiral Schofield, replace Jordan Bone. But by committee, they can get it done. Lamonte has stepped up his game. Bowden has stepped up his game. Fulkerson has had a great night, even though he didn't score in double figures. He's right there at a double-double with points and rebounds. So anytime you have those types of contributions across the board, you're going to have a great outing.
And it's been great for Tennessee tonight. A little bit of a slow start, a little bit of a lull at the end of the first half, but otherwise been pretty solid overall as Turner, who's played a lot of minutes tonight, misses that one short. Bowden stepping into a three-pointer. That one's a tad too long and leads to a run out. Baker, pull-up jumper. That looks to be more of his game if he can get in transition and hit that mid-range shot.
It does. It just seems at this level right here, he's playing a bit too slow to be able to get that shot off. Right now with the speed of Turner and the speed of Bowden and James, he's not going to be able to take his time and caress the shot the way that he looks like he wants to.
You mentioned James. He's back on the floor. 22 minutes tonight, just 2 points for the highly touted freshman, but 6 rebounds and a couple assists.
Absolutely. I can remember coming in as a freshman being I was the lone freshman and being highly touted. And it's really difficult to come in and be the scorer that everybody envisions or thinks that you're going to be. But as he's going to develop and as he starts to add pieces, today it's assists and rebounds. The next game may be points. The next game may be rebounds. But as he puts together about midway point, then he's going to be a heck of a player for Tennessee.
You became a 3-time All-SEC pick after that freshman year. When did things actually click for you that freshman season?
Well, after the first 10 games, I really realized what my role would be. I knew that I wouldn't be a 20-point scorer here. The level was much too difficult. The guys were seniors ahead of me. They had been waiting their time, and they wanted to continue their career on. So you know you're going to give the nod to those guys to make sure that they finish up their careers well here. But my sophomore season coming back, when I had the chance to identify my weaknesses from the first year and come back and put some work in, and the coaching staff was able to work with me. I found a great trainer out in California, Ansar El-Amin, and we addressed a lot of my deficiencies and came back, and from there I was able to lead the team my last 3 years. But the freshman year is always difficult. The different pace, the different level, the different strength. It's going to be a small break-in period. So he'll do fine.
When that light bulb goes off for James, he's going to be a phenomenal player. Not just here, but certainly you would think at the next level.
Absolutely. If you see his body, you see the way that he moves, you know that he has a lot of athletic ability, a lot of strength. So coming down, nice looking jump shot there. As he develops, as he's able to put up thousands and thousands of jump shots with a gun, with managers tossing the ball back, you're going to see nothing but growth in this game.
Good take by Battle to stick that one in. Getting the deficit under 20 is a 9-0 run here for Asheville. Cuts the deficit to 16. So we talked about at the end of the first half, Tennessee didn't close. Well, right now, they're not closing out this ball game after leading by as many as 25.
Right now, and right now, I would like to see James get a little bit more involved offensively and look for himself. Because going down the stretch, they're going to need him. They're going to need him to be able to score. Those are the things that we're going to be able to see from him. Terrific athlete, strength, almost effortless. Looks effortless that he didn't have to jump as high as he could just to stuff the guy. So he's going to be fine. And
you like that too. He turns the ball over at one end rather than get down on himself, be frustrated. He sprints to the other end. I mean, he's going to have nights where you might have a night like this, but you still contribute rebounds, some assists. Do you do some of the other things? But he's going to have a lot of really, really good nights.
He's learning how to be a good teammate right now. Before, he was a great player in high school. Everybody looked for him to do most of the things. And right now, he's learning it's not all about me. It's about what can I contribute on a nightly basis that's going to push my team over the edge. And right now he's came in and he's gave a great effort. He knows he has scores in Lamonte and Jordan. So now he's going to play his role, and then when he gets his opportunity and they need it, he's going to step up for sure.
Tennessee leading big, but another opportunity for Asheville to put a dent into this deficit. Too little, too late, 11-0 run to cut the deficit down to 13. There's Asheville's upcoming schedule. Go to the Citadel, then another big challenge against Wake Forest before they start to really turn their lens to the 2020 calendar year and to start a Big South play. So you get Tennessee and at Wake Forest to begin your year. You're going to learn a lot about your team before you get into the Big South.
Absolutely. And speaking with Coach Morrell, that's one of the things that he wanted to do. He wanted to get it over with so it's not hanging around after they have some success or have some failure and they're looking forward to Tennessee or looking behind the Tennessee. Let's get it out there in the open, see how we fare, and then what do we need to work on to get back to that level in case we make it to the NCAA tournament.
Gaines pulls up for a jumper and cashes it in. That ends a 12-0 run for UNC Asheville that had cut the deficit nearly towards single digits. Kent with the rebound. Shot clock is off, and Tennessee will be able to run this one out. So the Volunteers will end up winning this game by 14. Some people might look at that and say, and they should have won by more. Well, it was 25 just moments ago. What are your takeaways from night one here in Knoxville?
Night one, they had a really even effort. You know, you had Turner come out, of course, he's leading in scoring. And then you have Bowden and you have Pons, the highlight reel that steps up and he's going to do everything. So they came out and they beat a team that they should have beat. And now they're going on to the next match, UNC. They goes on to the next match, and they both learned something about themselves as teams tonight.
Tennessee extends its home winning streak to 27 games. Haven't lost since January of 2018 here inside of this facility. It's the fourth longest home winning streak in the history of Tennessee. So they open the year with a 78-64 victory over the UNC Asheville Bulldogs. Tennessee will now turn its lens to Murray State 1 week from tonight as the Vols open the year 1-0 for the 30th time in 33 years. Standing by with our Casey Funderburg is Jordan Bowden and Almonte Turner.
Jordan, first win of the season. How do you feel like your team performed tonight?
We did some good things. We did some bad things. We still got to pick it up. Me and Lamonte, turned the ball over in the first half. We can't do that as seniors, so we just got to pick it up next game.
Lamonte, your team had 12 turnovers in the first half, but you guys were able to cut that to 4 in the second half. What was Coach Barnes' message at halftime?
Just we got to take care of the ball. We were creating easy offense for them, turning the ball over, getting them out in transition, which they like to do. They got a lot of drivers. So the emphasis was take care of the ball at halftime, and I think we did a good job in the second half.
Going forward, what does your all's team need to improve on?
Just like you said, take care of the ball, free throws, blockouts. We can't give them second chance points, and just looking at film and just taking care of that right now.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So for Vincent, Casey, and our entire crew here in Knoxville, I'm Michael Watrang saying so long from Rocky Top, where the final score is Tennessee 78 and UNC Asheville 64. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to the WatchESPN.com or the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network.